What's going on, guys? I'm back again with another interview, and this time we're switching routes. So we're gonna take a break from Zeus real quick, but we'll be right back with Zeus. We're gonna go dip right back into the web reality world. So I've been watching this new show, which is really not new, but I just got into it called Set It Off Atlanta, and I have some favorites already. And one of my favorites is Quan the Legend. So let's bring him up. Hi, Quan. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
I guess that'll work.
I'm
That's it.
doing great. How are you doing today?
Um, it's been an eventful day for me as far as like work, but other than that, it's been fine. All is well. All is well. All is well. Not gonna even
Okay.
complain about it. Not even gonna complain about
Okay. I say this with everybody, but I'm glad I got you up here.
it. You said that with Rolly. No, I'm playing.
I say that with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mostly have all my favorites up here, but I'm not biased.
You never should be biased.
Yeah. So, so why don't you just give us a brief summary of like who Quan is? Where did Quan come from?
Okay.
Upbringing.
Oh, Jesus. Do we have time for that? No. In a synopsis, Quan, I was born Quantez Sherfield. Government name is Quantez. I created my alter ego Quan Legend from in a way to divert everything that was going on in Quantez's life. So I didn't want to the emotions and everything that I felt that was going on as Quantez, I didn't want to experience it as Quan. So, little short synopsis backstory with how I got to that. I actually used to do well. I still do in a sense, but I haven't done it in a while. Male lead, which was doing male pageants and male performances, basically the opposite or the counterpart of a drag queen. So that name or my stage name was Enticing Sherrington Legend, and I had a sister named Bianca Legend Monroe. Long story short, when she passed away, she made me promise to never drop the Legend name because that was a name that her and my sisters had built, and not necessarily something that we had a father that don't really claim too much anymore. But yeah, she made me promise to never drop the name Legend. So when I was coming from the pageant world and was trying to experiment into modeling and acting, I was like, okay, I need to find a name that I can actually brand because I didn't want to, again, go by Quantez because I didn't want anything associated or anything that I felt or went through as Quantez to go into my make believe realm or my make believe life. So my nickname has always been Quan or Q, Tez, or whoever, whatever they wanted to be. But I just picked on Quan because Rich Homie Quan and all these other names were coming about, and it's spelled different from a lot of other people. So I was just took Quan, and then I took the last name Legend because I promised my sister I would never drop that name when she left. And I was like, oh, that has a nice little ring to it, Quan Legend. And so yeah, that's how I just became bored. And so that was my initial brand when I started modeling and acting, and so that was my stage name. Or when I did a lot of promos and things of that nature, that was just Quan Legend. Then I got into personal training, and that became my brand name for my personal training brand, which is Body by Legend. So yeah, so that's pretty much Quan Legend in a nutshell. He's a actor, model, personal trainer, Shady Quan. Um,
I
yeah.
don't really see that shady part, but we'll get into that later. Um, well, first off, thank you for opening up for that. Second of all, sorry for your loss. Third of
Oh,
all, I did see some pictures on Instagram. Was like, okay, because I was watching the show. I'm like, his muscles is too big, but I'm trying to get where he's at. So like,
I
yeah,
used to
I'm
be
glad.
smaller,
I seen a
and
picture of that. I
and
was snooping.
that's actually what got me into acting. So when I first started acting, I was very and I don't want to give too much away because that actually goes into a part of this season. But I was very self conscious at one point in time. I still am to an extent, but I was very self conscious going into acting and modeling, being a little, a skinny guy. And it was like going to different go-sees and going to different auditions. I'm standing next to these big. I'm already short. I'm only 5'6.5", but I tell people I'm 5'7". So if you play this back, I'm 5'7". You didn't hear me say 5'6.5". but but I claim 5'7". And so it's like you're standing next to these big buff dudes and these people that are 6 feet tall. So it's like I had to do something to kind of make me feel like I was on an even playing field. And so that's where the whole buffness came into. And I was like, okay, let me start getting a personal trainer. Let me get in this weight room. And then when the weight started coming up, my confidence kind of came up and I felt a little bit more like I could take on one of those roles. And it's like I didn't feel so defeated at that moment when I started gaining the weight. So yeah, that's how that became about.
Okay. I need a personal trainer. So if I'm ever in Atlanta, we're going to Planet Fitness one day. I mean, I'm always in the gym too. So,
Planet Fitness is the playground. it,
well, I have
it
Planet Fitness and I have Vent Best Fitness, I want to say. Best or Vent Fitness.
My LA
No,
Fitness,
Metro,
I
Metro.
can bring you in under mine. Don't worry about it. But no, it's nothing wrong with Planet Fitness. That's where I started at is with Planet Fitness. But I kind of outgrew. But from my understanding now, Planet Fitness has the bigger weights, the 50 pounds, 60, 80, 100. So at that time, they didn't have the bigger weights. But from my understanding, they have all of that now.
Yeah, but I go to Metro and then I go to what I just said, the purple gym. So but yeah, I've been lifting weights too. Like I got some muscles, but I ain't like Terry Crews or something. Trying to get a little
Right.
bit near what he is. But when I saw, I was like, "Yep, that's the size I'm trying to get like him." But people are just like, "Oh, you got to eat more," and I'm just like, "Eat what?"
Yeah.
And then it's just like I've been doing that, but I think I have this thing where I have loose skin
Hmm.
because I went to go get a cosmetology. Not trying to make this about myself, but long story short, I started noticing some loose skin in certain areas. So I'm like, okay, so this is a problem. So we all are self conscious. I'm also self conscious
Yeah.
with insecurities and all that. So but yeah. So if I'm ever in Atlanta, which I plan on
I
going
got you.
back,
I
you
got
already
you.
know. So how did you end up getting on Set It Off Atlanta?
Whoo. Okay. So the running funny story with Set It Off Atlanta, our pilot season, it took us almost we make a joke about it, but it took us almost 3 years to get it to where it is now.
Three
That pilot,
years?
yeah, because we were filming literally for almost 3 years before that happened. So
Why
I
were y'all
started
filming that
filming.
long? I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep
We've
cutting
had.
you off.
Oh no, 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 you're fine. We've had. So the funny story with us, we've had so many changes between cast members, production members. Well, we've always had the one Brandon Victram, who is the owner of Pop Up Productions. Shout out to him. Make sure you guys go like, subscribe. All Pop Up Production ATL on YouTube, on Instagram, everything. I believe that's all of it. Yeah, all that. But um, but yeah, so initially we had so many people that were coming and a lot of people that were going. So that's why, if you watch the pilot season, I think it went into episode 3 is when he actually had the whole explanation because a lot of people were wondering where was Quan the first season. I technically, when I filmed initially, they were with me when I started my personal training brand. So everything was started. I had fashion shows that I had auditioned for and made it. I was actually on runways. Like they had a lot of things filmed, but then we had a big loss of footage. So the computer system crashed and nothing was pretty much backed up. So by the time they got to episode 3, this was his first time doing this. So he didn't know to have a backup for the backup for the backup for the backup for that backup. He just had that one one server, and so when that went down, all footage was lost. And unfortunately, a majority of that was my footage. So that's why I was not very present in the initial season because we tried to keep going forward with what we had. So that's why we named it the pilot season. Um, but yeah, so initially when I was first approached about it, it was I want to say December of 2019. Yeah, December of 2019 is when we actually first started. So the first day of filming was myself, Rodney Wash, and Carl. Shout out to all three of those fellas. And we filmed at Rodney Wash's event, and it was pretty dope. And then we kept going in from there. So from that moment, I'm not gonna lie, pretty much everyone from the initial cast, we had a moment where we just quit, didn't want to do it anymore. So we had people that quit, didn't want to do it anymore, people joined the cast, people that would leave, people that didn't want to film, people that were hesitating on filming. So it was just a lot of emotions and a lot of alter ego. Well, I'm not gonna say alter egos, but a lot of egos that we had to deal with to get everything launched. So, but yeah, that's basically why it took for 3 years, because a lot of things were lost. Rotating cast members. We had like three of us that actually continued on. Then it grew again, from my understanding, when I left initially to go to Texas. Filming was done and the season was supposed to be coming out. And then next thing you know, I hear they were still filming. So then when I came back to Atlanta, we started filming again. So that's where the whole 3 year process came in. So it was just a lot. It was a lot of confusion. It was a lot.
Yeah, because I seen a little bit of Set It Off. I only saw like 2 or 3 episodes, but what stood out to me of that show was actually Carl. I'm
Hmm.
familiar with
I
Carl
love Carl.
from G Status, and I actually met Carl when I was in ATL in June, and he's really a
Hmm.
sweetheart and very hilarious. So,
Carl is a character. He is a
sorry,
character.
somebody was calling me.
Oh no, you're good.
So, I was Carl. So yeah, so Carl stuck out to me, and then Brandon Carson was also, I believe, on that season too, here and there,
He
right?
was not on Set It Off. Brandon Carson was on G Status. I met him through
Yeah, he
another
was.
friend, Mikey.
Yeah, he was on G Status, but when
Hmm.
I seen a little bit of the reunion when Carl and him were going back and forth, that's what made me think that he
Yeah,
was a part of at least like a supporting cast member.
yeah. No, he no. Brandon Carson. He didn't have any affiliation with Set It Off, unless he filmed like a scene that I was not aware of. But as far as like cast, he was no, he wasn't affiliated.
It was definitely him and Carl going at it, I remember, but I don't know if, I don't know. But yeah, so that's how I seen it, but then I seen it as like this season. So you said it was a pilot season. So was this season 1 or season 2?
This season that everyone is currently watching, this is our official first season. But
Okay.
with keep down confusion, yes, this is our first season.
Yeah, because I'm like, huh? But yeah,
But with
so
us, we have a running joke. So yeah, but this is our first season.
yeah. So the aggravation was there the first season. So the second season, the pilot season. So the official first season, we were
Hmm.
introduced to you, all of you, Tony, forgive me for anybody's names that I forget. Tony, Chauncey, a couple of people, Rodney, and you, and some other people. You all were sitting
Hmm.
down at dinner. You guys were at like a crab shack or something like that.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And you stood out to me more a little bit than some people. And Tony stood out to me, and Rodney
I
stood
love
out to
Tony.
me, and Chauncey stood out to me. But
Hmm.
and I remember you guys were sitting down and you was eating your fries and all this other stuff, and you guys were getting into some things, other things, and
That
Black's
has been a
name.
running joke. Me eating my fries.
Yeah. So the conversation was mostly about Black and how Rodney, because remember I didn't see a lot of the first season. I only saw like 1 or 2
Hmm.
episodes, and Rodney started having a conversation. Well, most of the table started having a conversation. The top of the conversation was Black, whoever had a past issue with him, and
Hmm.
you and Tony and a couple other people were just kind of not really like in the conversation. You guys kind of were just like away from it, but you guys were there.
Hmm.
And Rodney was expressing his feelings, and then I remember Tony and Chauncey were kind of having like a little riff because I remember
Yeah.
Tony was in his confessionals. We confessional gangsters,
Going for blood.
and yeah, I call them confessional gangsters.
Hmm.
So, and what was going through your mind when all that was going down with the conversation with Black while you were eating your fries with ketchup?
It was honey mustard.
Okay.
But okay, so before we even go there, so the whole fry incident. So I was called to the dinner very last minute, like literally about an hour or so before it started. I am not a seafood person at all. Secondly,
What?
I don't. I the only thing I eat with, and I did. That's what the little funny thing in my confessional with the whole crabs and the head. It's weird. Anything with the head, I won't eat it. Like it's just something with that. It just bothers me. I can't explain it, but that's why I stay away from crawfish. Anything. I can't do it.
Crab
Only
legs?
no, I don't like fighting with my food either.
They're already dead.
But you have to crack it and you have to do it. I don't. I have braces,
Oh,
so I
okay.
ain't got time. I ain't got time
I'm
to fight with my
slow.
food. I ain't got time to fight with my food. I'm sorry. I ain't fighting
So
it.
where we gonna eat at if I go down to ATL?
We can go to a seafood spot. I'm just
No,
gonna
no,
order
no, no, no,
wings.
no, 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 no. If you ain't feeling it, then we gonna
I
go
will eat
somewhere you.
wings.
Oh yeah, I forgot they had wings.
Exactly. But no, but that was basically the reason why I had the fries. And then at the time I was in a relationship, so my guy and I, we had already planned to cook dinner. So he was pretty much at my crib getting ready to start dinner. So that's why I was like, okay, not going to eat much food here because I have dinner when I get home. So that was explaining the fry situation. Um, as far as the whole dinner itself, of course, you guys know it's reality web series, reality TV, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Wacko
that
world.
right. The little piece of the information or the little piece that everyone sees is not what everything happens. So the whole dinner was not all about Black. It did turn into that, but it was not initially about Black. Um, of course, at that time, of course, this was filmed earlier this year. So me and Black used to be like really, really tight. Like we were tight, tight. Um, we had a look. It wasn't anything like personal. I think it was just growing apart situation, and it was like a lot of miscommunication. So I wouldn't say that we were beefing, but we just weren't speaking, if that makes any sense. It's like it was no ill feelings, but it was just like I see you, you see me type of situation. I'll speak, I'll be cordial, but I'm a Scorpio, so I'm very defensive, and I don't let a lot of people in as it is. So my defense mechanism is going to be when I see any type of shift or anything that I see. Again, going back to what I said earlier, anything that I see that relates to Quantez's life, I don't want that happening in Quan Legend's life because this is my fantasy life. This is what I choose. I choose to be this person's child. I choose to be this person's friend. So I don't like any type of similarities at all. And when I see that type of thing, I kind of distance myself. Um, of course, I learned how to deal with that better, which we'll all learn that throughout the season. But I've learned how to, manage and deal with things a little bit different. But at the time, me and Black were just getting back into a amicable place. So, of course, me being the person that I am, we were all talking, we were having little conversations at the table. And, of course, little shots and jabs were thrown here and there. And a lot of people were knocking me, was like, well, why were you talking about it? It was like, me and Black have that relationship. We can talk, I don't know if we can curse, we could talk SHIT
No, you
about
can
each other.
curse,
Oh,
cause that's what I be
okay.
doing.
Okay, cool. So we talk shit about each other, and we can, the thing is, we only allow that from each other, if that makes any sense. It's like I can tell him, but I'm not gonna let you be like, well, no, bitch, no, you're not gonna check him. I'll check him before you check him, if that makes any sense, and vice versa. He'll check me before anyone else does. So the conversation, started going left or going a different way. Of course, everyone likes to point the finger and blame Tony for because Tony was asking the questions. But again, this is reality TV, guys. Like we have to have some. One thing that we got pointed out in our pilot season was that it was boring. So it's not saying that everything is make believe, but you have to have someone kind of stirring the pot. You know what I'm saying? You have to ask those questions. I mean, but that was Rodney who took the bait, and he kind of took it and ran with it. And at that point it was like no saving you. I'm like, okay, at this point it was like certain things that he said, like he said he wasn't being shady, but to me, I wasn't at Black's K3 event. So when he mentioned about the ounces in his body butter, when I heard what he said, I was like, that seemed kind of shady because I know Rodney. And I'm like, that was very shady. It's like, no, I just really wanted to know how many ounces was in there. And I'm like, you could have genuinely asked that, but the way you said it, it just kind of came off like you were being funny because Black is a tall guy. He's a bigger guy. So when you make that comment about ounces, and it just, to me, Tony took it that way. I took it that way. London kind of played both fences, but he kind of, viewed it that way as well. So yeah, but that's how the whole conversation went at the table. A lot of people like to point fingers and blame. Like I'm at this point, I'm not gonna say this person was doing more or You should have been defending him. I was the main one defending him. That it's like I'm so tired of that back and forth. So yeah, everyone was talking what they had to say, and the thing is, when I they consider me the bone collector or the bone carrier, when I went back to black before, and that's just how I am. If before I tell you anything about anybody else, I tell you what I said. I gave him verbatim, word by word, everything that Quantes had to say. This is what I said. Now, this is what XYZ, this is what this person and this person and this person had to say. But the gag is, a lot of people didn't know it at the time until the course of the second episode aired. So that's when I could really speak freely on it. I wasn't the first person that went back and told Black. I was just the only one that did it on camera.
So you didn't think that was messy doing it on camera, besides doing it off camera and on camera at least?
I mean, I can give it was being messy, but at the same time, we're filming a reality show. We have it's like, what show have you ever seen where there's no bone carrier? Like, it has to be. I'm not saying that I was electing to do that, but at the same time, we got hit so much for so many things our pilot season, where they was like, oh, production was being messed, production was doing this, and they were in the mix and they was doing this. So why not just take it upon myself and take the heat off production, because it was a member of production that did go back and say something.
I would have left it like that, because let me tell you, once you take that role,
But the thing is, I it doesn't bother me. I have trust me, I have very thick skin. At
and
the
we
end
know
of the
you got
day,
thick muscles too.
at the end of the day, it got people talking about our season. It's not about me. I've never been all about Quantes. It's never been it's I've always saw the bigger picture. So the thing was, me being messy or me being ridiculed for that one or two episodes, because now the tables have turned. Now they see who the real bone collectors are. And it was not just me. I did that one little incident. That was it. But no. Um if I had to take the heat for that, that's perfectly fine. I can do that, because the thing is, we have I call them internet gangsters, keyboard gangsters. You can do a lot of this in the comments, but clearly on every episode they have our Instagram, they have our Facebook. You can at me if you have any type of problems with me. No one has ever came at me in my inbox or said anything otherwise. Other than that, keep it in the comments. I don't pay it any mind. I laugh at them actually.
Yeah, I get this whole. I've never been on a show, at least not yet, but I've never been on a show, so I know how this reality game goes. You got
Hmm.
to have the messy one, the bone collector, the chilled one, the party one, the messy one, the fighting one. I get it. So I'm not mad at anything. I watched it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's a damn show. It is what it is. I don't really care about what the comments say. I'm not the ones that go in the comments
Right.
ripping you guys. I don't know you guys. Yes, there has been certain shows in the past that my emotions got the best of me just a little bit,
Hmm.
because there were people that could have stopped something, or it could have went a different way, but people just chose not to. We all grown. We all
Right.
know what we're doing. Stop with the excuses. It's not always production. However, I'm not there. I can't control it. It is what it is. So I'm not the type to just go off about people that I don't even know from a hole in the wall, let alone don't even
Right.
know if this bit was taken here and then this was cut out to make this look like this happened. When I get it, a lot of people don't
Exactly.
get it, and even if I didn't, I just don't care. I don't know you guys personally to want to shoot you down or pull up to your house. All these other people in the comments have these parasocial relationships.
You would be surprised of the things that people say. In the it's
That's what
quite it's
pisses
like
me off. Like,
but it's like you have to learn to laugh at it, because the
oh, I
only
do.
reason why it started getting to me slightly, because my biological grandmother actually had a conversation with me a couple weeks. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, so
Happy
she
birthday.
actually, thank you. But she was just like, oh, she was, I don't know how we got on the subject, and she asked me a question. Oh, because I had to do our live that night, and she was like, well, what you got to go to that you got to get off the phone with your grandma, da 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 da. And so I was like, well, it's the show that I've been filming for. So she's like, oh, so she actually went back to watch everything, and she's watching it this season. So when she called me randomly, she was like, but they're saying all type of stuff about you in the comments, and I was like, don't you say anything, because if someone says something wrong to you, I'm gonna get ignorant. So that's why I had to tell her not to read the comments. But like I told her, I had to explain to her it doesn't bother me. Like you have these people don't know they don't know me. I don't even know who most of these people have blank profiles. You could be a fake profile.
Probably somebody from the cast or production.
Exactly. Someone from the cast or someone's favorite or whoever it is. Like it was someone that was dragged from some they despise me and I'm just this and I'm like, you
Oh,
don't even know me. Right. But it was just hilarious. I'm like, but thank you. Continue to run because this same person has been commenting since last our pilot season. And every time you comment, Quon's name is in your mouth. Thank you for keeping me relevant and thank you
you're a
for viewing the
fan.
show. Run up the views. That was my response. Keep running up the views. Any to me, I'm not gonna say any press is good press because there is some negative press, but anything that we're kind of the underdog when it comes to this web reality series. Now our name is buzzing and it's pop like we have everybody trying to jump on the bandwagon right now. So thank you. Keep hating. I don't care. You're getting the show the recognition that we need and that we want. We're hitting 10K views on every freaking episode that we have. And we're only on episode 6
Coming
that
up
just
right
aired last
behind,
night.
coming up right
Right.
behind Gemini Feels I'm Chasing. Y'all just started.
Exactly. And we
Y'all
just
did way better than
started.
what the
Come
Heights
on.
did. And the Heights was a good
Come
ass show.
on. Exactly. So we're doing what we need to do. Like we're regardless if like the question was posed to me a couple weeks ago, and they were like, "Who would you get rid of on the cast?" And honestly, and sure, I would not get rid of anybody, no matter how I feel about them. We all played a part in this. If one person was missing, we would not have had the dynamics that we had, and that's just honest to God truth. We would not have the dynamics that we have right now if one person was missing. If one person was added, it would have threw. I like the. A lot of people say, "Oh, it was too many people." It worked. It worked. Whether they want to realize it or not, it worked. Because we're getting 10K views
But
per episode.
I like the ensemble cast. Like Chasing Atlanta had like 10 different people. I like
Hmm.
at least like 9 people. You don't gotta go over 12 or 10, but
But
like
see,
I like that because it's like
we have a main cast who is the first episode you guys saw the opening and that was just with everyone, but episode 2 and on you will see just it's only the main cast is Black, Enrique, Terrence, Antonio, um, Miss JT, and Chauncey. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I'm sorry. I think that's everybody that you will see in the intro.
what
That's the
about
main
you?
cast. I was not a part of the main cast for, and again, I don't know the reasoning behind that, and it's no, and I don't take offense to it at all, because there were some things that transpired off camera that a lot of people weren't privy to. So I mean, a lot of us did kind of I did kind of get ghost, and that's why a few episodes you guys didn't see me there. But the second half, you will probably see, depending on how editing goes. I don't know if I will be seen in those or not, but because I know I did start filming a little bit more towards the second half.
Okay, so what if like maybe when you do put more scenes in, what if they start showing the character? Because think about it, like you were there for the first and second episode because it dragged the storyline, obviously.
Right.
The third, fourth, and fifth episode, you were not there, and we did not see your
I was in
billboard,
a
you know,
one
your.
scene. Yeah, yeah, that
So
was
it's like,
it.
what's the point of showing Quon when Quon's not there? And everyone's like, where's Quon? But then the episodes you are there, they may show your intro. You get what I'm saying? Maybe
Hmm.
that's what they're doing. Because I'm actually the
I
next episode I might catch that if I see you ever done it is what it is. Like
I honestly, I can't. I The thing is, and that's one of the issues that I kind of had with our cast slash production is there isn't a line between production and friends. You can be friends with your production members, and that's perfectly fine. Anytime that I had to contact our producer, it was strictly on a business. I didn't call you just the key and this, that, this, and the fourth, because at
as
this
it
time,
should.
I'm seeing you as my boss. You are my boss, and I don't kiki with my real boss. Clearly, she already knows that. But my thing is, we're here to get a job done, and I feel like some of them don't know how to draw that line. And that was a point that I was trying to make when we had a cast meeting a couple months ago, like when we had this big blow up. But anywho, um,
Ooh.
but yeah, and I just believe there's a way to separate certain things, and that's kind of where again I start seeing that I don't want to use the word favoritism, but
Or
I don't know
kissing
what other
ass, you could
word.
say.
I don't want to say kissing ass either
Who
because
gonna
I
check? Who gonna check us? Who gonna check us?
right, but yeah, it just to be a line should be drawn, and I believe because I don't know. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that
It's
alone.
okay. I'm not listening. I ain't messy. You're still
Oh
about
no, it's
so.
fine. It's like yeah, because I don't know what else is gonna be portrayed because again we were told some things in our meetings what's gonna be happening as far as certain things. So, but I can't confirm because again I'm not buddy with anybody on the
And you never
production
know.
side. Exactly, and I'm just the type of person I rather watch the episode as it comes, and learning everything, and we have some people that kind of know or are privy to what's coming out. So I mean, it is what it is. So yeah,
So, when Black shows up to Rodney's event or Rodney's
yes,
event,
it wasn't his
how?
event. In the words of Black, it's not an event, babe. It's not an event.
Okay, so Rodney's event, in
Right.
the words of Black. So Black shows up, people were shocked. And
Hmm.
then you guys go outside and have a conversation. He joins the conversation. Him and Rodney have this disagreement. And
Hmm.
then Chauncey comes out. And
Hmm.
then I believe Antonio comes out. It was a couple
Um.
people that came out, and you guys are having a conversation, and you
Oh
guys
yeah.
felt like
Hmm.
one Black crashed the party or whatever, or you guys were shots. Some of them felt like he
I was
purposely
not
came there to
shocked.
prep. Was
I
some
was
of y'all?
aware he was coming.
Oh, well, some of y'all
I
was
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 aware.
some of y'all was shocked, and some people felt like he came there to start trouble, crash the party.
Hmm.
How did you feel having that conversation about when you know what was said about him at the dinner table, even though you just explained it? Because I do
Hmm.
remember you were getting frustrated with Rodney about like you're not really saying what you really just said, just own it. You're
Hmm.
kind of backpedaling. And I remember
Right.
you saying that. So
Hmm.
even though I think I just kind of answered it, what make you like take it there? Like was it what was something that we
Um.
didn't see in that moment that was just
Oh
like,
baby.
okay,
So let's be. It was a whole blow up that they did not air at all. When I tell you, it was like face to face, like in your face, like point, like it really got very
they do a
hectic.
lot of this because
Yeah.
they do a lot of this. I know I can't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, and yeah, but
What happened?
no, how it got to that point again, it was the people. I'm not gonna say the people, but I felt like it was one of those situations where if you're gonna say something and I get where Rodney's coming from, this happened at my dinner, so why are you going back saying? But my thing is if you said it once, you can go back and say it again. You can repeat it again. And at that moment in time, of course, I'm in a good place with mostly everybody I think that I know of. I'm in a very good place with Chauncey, so I don't want to fuck that up because we're good. But at that moment in time, I just felt like he was being Rodney's lapdog because Rodney is the type of person that likes to throw the rocks and hide his hands. Like he'll pop off behind closed doors, but he likes to be seen as this white Karen, and excuse my language, but he likes to be this white Karen when it comes to camera in public. But he'll get you bonquisha behind the door.
You sound
But
just like me. That's what I be saying. Like,
but that's basically what he gives, and it's just like if you're gonna that was Black's whole thing. If you whatever you I don't care what you said, but if you're gonna come back, give me that same energy. Don't give me this fake shit. Like if you see like when he walked in, you saw Rodney's face was like, oh my God. And then he walks over and hugs him. That was fake as fuck. Cause you was just talking mad shit about this dude. And now all of a sudden, oh, let me go give you a hug and da 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 da. No, bitch, keep that same fucking energy. Don't fucking hug me. Don't do the fake shit. Like I think it was episode 5, like with Liam and Chauncey. Liam was like, no, 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 don't hug me. Like, no, bitch. Like, no, keep that same. No, I'm not even gonna accept your hug. But yeah, in that particular moment, I got frustrated because again, I felt like it was one of those situations where it was a tag team duo where it was Rodney and Chauncey, and you were, hyping Chauncey up to get Chauncey to get, riled up or whatever he was trying to do.
Like fight my
And
battles for me, like
exactly, and it was just like not they were not saying everything that they said. So it was like a comment in particular when he made a comment about last year at the reunion, and I want to address that too, and I'm gonna get to that in one point in 1 second. It was a comment that was made. If you were truly booked and busy, then whether footage was lost or not, you should be able to pick up where you left off. Speaking of the, from the pilot season, and watching a couple lives a couple days ago, I think it was like a week or so ago, come to find out, which I didn't take offense to it because again, at the table, I know what happened first season. I know what I did and I know what I didn't do. So it was like it didn't offend me. But to hear you on a live to say, "Oh no, I was thrown out," that was a shot towards Quan, and I'm like, "Oh well, why didn't you put a name on it when we were there?" So again, to address that, I never once told anybody that I was booked or anybody that I was booked or busy. Quantez works a 9 to fucking 5. If Quantez Sherfield does not earn a check, Quan Legend does not exist. Let's be clear. Quantez Sherfield makes the check. I log in every morning. I'm an accountant for a real estate law firm. That's my job.
can I get
Okay.
a job? Shit.
That is my 9 to 5. If I do not make a nine, if I don't make my check 9 to 5, Quan Legend cannot do no acting. He can't do his personal brand. Everything that I have done as far as my logo, everything is come out of Quantez Sherfield's pocket, his bank account. Quan Legend has a bank account, yes, he does. But Quantez Sherfield's bank account is a little bit bigger. That's why I'm able to fund certain things. So that's why I've never claimed that book and busy thing. So that was just, that just really bothered me. He was like, if you were supposed to be booked and busy, then you could pick up where you left off. Well, when you're a personal trainer, like I was, and I was just starting my brand, I had clients at the time. When we came back, we were literally in the middle of a pandemic. When we were filming, we
Oh,
were in a pandemic. Gyms were closed. I was making my money by going to the park. They film thought, mind you, they had that on film. Granted, yeah, I could have went back and redid some of those things, but a lot of the clients that I had at the time didn't want to be out anymore. They didn't feel comfortable coming out. So how could I remake that? A fashion show that I was a part of that I walked with the Black Beauty Expo. I can't call those people and have them put on $1,000 whatever production again just for me to film myself again. Like the photo shoot, the brand ambassador, like a few of the t-shirt people that I did, granted, I could have redid those scenes, but all those photos are already shipped over to them and done and they were already posted. So again, how can I redo some stuff that I've already done? And at the same time, a lot of the things that I do is not I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a rapper. That type of stuff it's lucrative. You can do a lot of different things with that. My particular profession, you can't go back and redo certain things. It depends on certain. It's more than one. I'm sorry. It's more than one aspect that goes into the stuff that I do. Personal training. I have to have a gym. I have to make sure they have a gym membership. I have to make sure they have certain equipment. It's a lot of things that go into it. What meal plans, meal preparation, like making sure they have. Because I
calorie
don't know about
intakes.
exactly. I don't know about anybody else's clients, but I provide a lot of stuff because I'm charging you $200+ for your, for consultations and for your damn can't even think personal training, and it's just like if that's my fee. I think I should be able to pour into you and give back into you. Like a lot of my clients, they can take, they got towels, they got water bottles, they got supplements. I would go buy shakes sometimes, like if after a workout, like so you can feel like your money is being. It's not just me yelling at you and instructing you to go push this or push that. No, I did stuff with my clients. That's
I
just
like that.
me.
I like
Me,
that.
I'm very personable. That's just how I am. So yeah, but
Sound booked and busy to me, 9 to 5 or not. And that's a lot
either
of thing
way,
that a lot of these.
yeah.
I don't do these slangs where I be like the girls and all that, but just for fun, a lot of these girls, a, a lot of these niggas on these shows be swearing just cause like you work a 9 to 5 or you don't do this or you don't do what they do or what they
hmm
define as what is booked and busy. You're broke. You're a bum. You're this and the third.
There's different
But
levels
then
to
when the
success.
pandemic had hit, who was really broke? I was
Exactly.
still working during the pandemic, even though I didn't want to, but I still was getting a check.
Well, my job laid me off, but they brought me back. At the beginning, they laid me off, but I got brought back. But like you said, still the 9 to 5ers, and people can say what they want to, but it's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur. But my thing is, there are struggles to being an entrepreneur. I have a certain like I'm not being funny, but you see the stuff that like. I have a certain lifestyle that I live. Being an entrepreneur, it can do that, but at the same time, I would have to be something. My bills are over 1,000, well over $2,000 a month, and that's because we know Atlanta rent is high as hell. But it's
I
just
don't know
like
why, but
I'm not about to walk away from my 9 to 5 and live comfortably, then go struggle and be a entrepreneur. And again, there's nothing wrong with doing it. A lot of people can do that. I just have a certain lifestyle that I'm used to living, and I'm used to being able to pay for food or pay for my dinner, your dinner. You know what I'm saying? I'm just used to doing certain things, and going to just being a personal trainer, model, and actor. That's not going to pay these bills. It'll pay a portion, but it's not going to pay these bills. Like I would have to no.
yeah, I also am a modeler, I'm a songwriter, singer.
I remember, yeah, I was looking
Yeah.
at your profile, yeah.
Yeah. So you was creeping too, just like everybody else. I'm just playing.
Well,
So like
I have to know who,
yeah, ain't
it's like
nothing
when
wrong
you
with
reached
that.
out, I'm like, okay, let me see who this person is. Let me get a little backstory so I don't just go in there and just like, okay, I don't know who you are.
Right. That's normal. I don't care about that. Yeah, so I get it. And even doing these things, it's like even like on all these web shows, you guys do these events, some events. You guys
Hmm.
do like, these runway fashion shows, hosting gigs, music concerts, all that. You guys are pouring money into all of this, your
Of
own
course,
personal money, and you guys are not getting paid. And I've been
at
bitching for
all.
the past two, and TTB and YB Entertainment for the past 3 years, even when I wasn't doing this interview and shit. These cast members need to be paid at least maybe bi-weekly, because I know you guys are just starting, so I don't some channels are not monetized. I'm learning that now. Some channels are not,
Hmm.
just because they got the high views doesn't they have to be
Right,
monetized.
right.
Some channels though are monetized, and I do understand that sometimes money goes into equipment, to make the production better. But here's the thing: without the cast, there would be no damn production. So
Exactly.
I feel like you guys need to be reprimanded,
This stuff
a
gets
little bit.
expensive, and then
It
like you
does.
were stating, we have different cast members events, like concerts and stuff, that like that's $20 to get into a club, $40, whatever it is. Then we have to pay for the parking, then we have to pay to have drinks. It's like it all adds up. So yeah.
At least now they're not gonna pay for y'all to be there. At least I feel like all productions in this whole web game should be paying for you guys to get into places you have to pay, parking, at least drinks, food, at least
That
that
would be nice.
stuff. At
That
least
would be
just
nice.
give that stuff. That's what I feel like believe. And
That would be
something else,
nice.
to go back to the entrepreneur thing, I don't know if you watch him. I love watching him. Justin James, shout out to him, King of Reeds. He
Hmm.
actually is big on capitalism. So
Hmm.
he's like, I remember when he was dragging B Simone. He goes and says, and I quote, "That's why I keep trying to tell y'all, this entrepreneurship lifestyle, it's not no glamorous lifestyle. It's gonna cost
Hmm.
you." He was homeless. He was moved from couch to couch. This wasn't easy. It's
It's
gonna
not.
cost you. And
Hmm.
even with me having these interviews with some people from zoos, you think that shit is free? It's not high. And I think I don't know if I got the look, because I got the desirable. I don't know if they look like, oh, he cute. Let me just, but that's that some people don't agree with. I don't discuss my clients' prices, but
Exactly.
some
Yep.
people feel like, like, you shouldn't be paying whatever, because I don't tell them. Like, so they're like, you shouldn't be paying because you're not really getting monetized. Yes, I understand that, but here's the thing: I look at it as like investing in myself, so
Thank
I
you.
can get to those views, because
You
they're
have to
gonna
start
bring views.
somewhere.
Y'all
Hmm.
bring views too, but business wise, they bring more views. But altogether, you guys bring the views so that we can get
Mm-hmm.
monetized. So, say if you was to come up here, I can give you $50 for your, time, or maybe 75. That's what I would want to do. Not just
Mm-hmm.
so they could bring me at no, because then we gonna have to have some contracts. But that's a conversation me
That's
and
another
King
whole
and Quan's
conversation.
gonna have to have very fucking soon. But that's the goal. So it's like it's investing in yourself. And yes, I get
Mm-hmm.
it. And I know everybody wants to get money, like money, but it's like it don't just happen that fast like that. As
Mm-hmm.
sucky as it sounds, it don't happen that fast.
Fact.
It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And people just think, oh, well, y'all need to get money to. I wish I could pull a rabbit out my hat.
It doesn't happen
It
overnight.
don't happen like that. It
It doesn't
takes
happen overnight.
time. So people have to understand that. So yeah, definitely, I think you're doing great. Like as I'm still getting to know you, I see
Yeah.
even
Thank
on
you.
the show, you everything you said you've done. And I'm not saying this because you Quan's your favorite, you're gonna kid no, because I'm being honest. Everything you said you've done.
Yeah.
Because I've seen what the other cast members do, and I would tell them the same thing when I have a conversation with half of them, or at least all of them if I could get them. Um, so keep doing the good work. You're doing great. You know,
Try my best. Thank you.
you're
I'm a
doing the
humble
best.
person, so it's like I
I am
always
too.
believe there's room for improvement. But I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank
you're
you.
right. So some episodes you weren't there, so I'm not gonna ask you about that. I know you probably
Hmm.
were rolling your eyes to half of the shit that was going on. Because Lord knows when I get some of them up here, like telling them, like, oh,
Yes.
I gotta go back and rewatch all the shit.
We're on. Oh, yes. So we had episode 6 air last night. I was present for that with everybody's been talking about the dominatrix party. So,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
just getting into that. So that party, I don't know if that was a Savage Fenty type of bring your lingerie type of event, but you had a ponytail. I'm like, what the hell he got on? Is he
So,
trying to be a bunny or something? And then Black had on a
no.
wig and
So
had this
let's
on.
be
Everybody
clear.
had on they. I'm like, what the hell? We
So
playing
let
Dungeon?
me be clear because I'm sure she's going to watch this too. My hair braider, she went on a maternity leave. Okay. So that was another part of the reason why I kind of stopped filming because this was her first baby. And I'm the type of person, even though me and her we have a very close relationship. Like I can text her right now and she'll pick up the phone and she'll be like, okay, if I need her to braid my hair tomorrow, she would do it. But at that moment in time, you were just getting your. I wanted to give you that chance because this is your first child. So of course, I didn't have my hair braided, and I'm like, okay, this is a dominatrix party. So I'm like, I did honestly and truly, like I said that earlier today on the live. I didn't want to go because again, anytime, and I've said this time and time again, and any cast member can vouch for that. Anytime we have a group setting, it's always fucking drama, always.
That's
And
all
I
group
was just
settings.
I was just tired of that. And I in my mind I knew that. And it was like I was already at that I think at that moment I still was with my guy, my ex guy. I don't know if we were having issues at the time. We probably were. That was probably before the breakup. But anywho, I just didn't feel like being bothered. And my hair wasn't done. And I'm like, I don't feel like being bothered with this shit. So I'm like, okay, let me just throw something together. Let me go ahead and go. And Delon doesn't allow us to wear shoes in his house, so it kind of the illusion that I had my shoes completed my outfit. So and same thing with my Papa Smurf. His shoes made his outfit as well, and it was just like you're telling us to take our shoes off at the door, but I'm like, it goes with my outfit. So that's why you only saw the little fishnet and the little booty shorts and my little harness, and it's like I just try to make it do what it do with the dominatrix. Because my thing is, when you think dominatrix, you think of black, you think of whips, you think of chains, you think of leather, and it's like I don't own no leather because I'm not a freak, despite what
Chains
people
and
say.
whips excite me.
I'm
Na,
a
na, na,
Christian. You
come
see my
on.
halo?
Mm.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
That Halo
I'm a
wasn't there that
virgin.
night.
I'm a virgin.
You a
But
virgin.
I am. Yes, God, glory, glory. See the
Wait,
cross.
seriously?
See,
Or
see the cross. Wait, I don't know. Yep, there you go. I'm a Christian. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I ain't answering no more questions on that. But anywho, but
Now you know. Okay.
but yeah, that night it was fun, and it was just like that was one of the situations where I enjoyed being around the cast. Um, we was able to let our hit because it's like again, people that really know me know that I'm very guarded and I'm very protective of my energy, my space, and just who knows my business. For me to do that in that setting, that was me letting my hair down. That was me trying to let them in or me trying to be comfortable around them. So yeah, I did like I can be just as masculine, I can be just as feminine or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I play both roles. It is what it is. And it was just like, we're having fun. That's why I was doing the little butt clap and the thigh jiggle. Like, they was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that. Like,
I didn't see
a
all
lot.
that.
Yeah, you keep watching it. Yeah.
I didn't even see you wearing the booty shorts. I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Yeah, we all were pretty much naked. Yeah. And
Y'all
it was
don't need.
cold.
You do not need to be naked.
No, it was fun. It was a dominatrix party, so that was
No,
what
I know. I'm
that's what
just
the theme
playing.
called for. So yeah, I mean, we had a good time up until that moment. Like I knew, I didn't know it was gonna get to the extent that it went to, and of course, you guys will see the next week's episode because that wasn't the end of the beef or the argument. That was just the tip of the iceberg. It went completely left, completely left. So you saw a little bit of it pop off, and it was just like and you just see me sitting there, and that was me just now starting to come back around to the group. And I was like, like I'm cool with Antonio and I'm cool with Black, I'm cool with everybody. And like I was telling Antonio, because he was, as y'all saw, the shade counter was going through the roof at that party. And that's why I was trying to explain to him, you cannot come back from words, because he was starting to hit below the belt. And that's why I was like, okay, calm down, because when you say certain things, you can't come back from that. Like, you can hurt my feelings, do whatever you, but it's certain things I will not forget. Like, I'll say, okay, we're good, fine and dandy, but I'm always going to remember you said X, Y, and Z about me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like certain things. It's like when you hit below the belt, when you start talking about people's weight, and then you start talking about this, it's just like you're going below the belt. Like, y'all are getting to a point, and then you can see in his face he was getting frustrated and was like, "Yeah, that
Yeah,
night
because
was
I'm
crazy."
like, I looked at, I'm like, Antonio. It seemed like when he get drunk, he does a lot of this, a little bit. Like
Believe it or not, I don't even think he was drunk that night. I don't
he
think
wasn't drunk. I
so.
thought he was drunk. Well, then I take it back.
No,
Shit.
the person that gets real London, when London gets some drinks in his system,
I gotta
London
watch
is
Mr. London again.
oh baby. At the in That was episode 5. He was interjecting himself into the Black and Antonio situation when they were at their performance, and even then it was like you could tell he was full. Well, we
Oh,
could, because
that
we
London. Oh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was very, yeah. When he gets full, he gets really full. But he's a good time though. Don't get me wrong, he is a great time. But when he gets full, baby, just
so he
know
gives
he's going.
Akeem. He gives Sir Akeem vibes. Akeem from G
Believe it,
Status.
yeah, and believe it or not, I know Akeem. Me and Akeem actually used to work together years ago. I knew him prior to him even filming for the show. So yeah, but yeah, he I think he's more controlled than Akeem though. Like Akeem to me, I think is he drinks and he just gets like, yeah.
I think it's time me and Akeem have a sit down because Akeem is not my favorite like that because of some of the things he
Don't
says, but
do
it's
it,
not.
man.
But it's
Oh,
I have to get to know him
oh.
more. But
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah, y'all was sitting down and then Antonio was going off at the mouth, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is just so like them two arguing again, and it just seems like
Hurt people hurt people.
I don't
And
believe
that's
that bullshit. I don't believe that BS sometimes. Like her, sometimes I feel like people just want a moment, and I'm not saying that this is Antonio because I wasn't there. I mean, it's on camera, but it's like that whole hurt
but
people is bull. Like
you are
sometimes people just
hitting
do it just to do it.
but you're hitting a nail on the head with that, because a lot of people feel that way, that he was searching for a moment. Granted, if you watch the deleted scene with Black and Antonio, you kind of get the backstory. Honestly and truly, I their feud if they just have a conversation, it will be okay. I think Antonio's thing is he just wants Black to understand because Antonio, of course, lost his brother, and I get where
I did
he's
not
coming
know
from with that
that.
because I take my friendships to heart. Anybody that I take, if I call you my friend, I treat my friend. Sometimes, if you're my true friend, I treat you better than my family because again, my family, we're all fine, cool, and dandy. But it's some people, it's some aunties and cousins and uncle that are shady and shifty as
I
fuck.
don't fuck with
And
mine.
and they know that now because I'm an adult now, so now I pop off and I say what I want to say. Like it's one in particular. Don't even say shit to me. She knows that. And my mom and my every time they were like, "Oh shit," I don't even speak to her. Hey, how you doing? Don't, because she's been at me for years, years. Even before I knew I was gay, Miss Lady, she always came at me. So it was just like, okay, but yeah, but my friendships I take to heart, and I hold my friends to a certain level. And I think that's kind of what Antonio is doing with Black is because if I call you my brother, then I hold you to a certain standard. And it's the same thing with Black because me and Black called each other brothers at one point. Like we still are. I don't think our relationship is as close as what it was, but I still do consider him a brother. And it's like I would expect certain things, and I'm sure vice versa. Like if he was to pick up the phone and call me right now and say, "Hey, I got a situation going on," I'm grabbing whatever I need to grab and jump over out of the house. Like, who we got to roll up on? What's up? But I think that it's some type of disconnect, and I honestly I think listening to the lives today because of course I was working, so I was trying to listen. I couldn't really type and do everything, but I'm listening to it on my phone and then trying to do my work at the same time. But I feel like it's a deeper story in there with Antonio and that he's just not sharing with Black. I could be wrong, but that's basically what I'm gathering. It's something deeper that he's hurt by, and Black is willing to apologize. Let's move on. Let's try to rebuild. But Antonio is still at a standstill. Like no, let me. I will do it in my time. So that's why coming from me because I'm a stuff. I
That
am
makes
probably
sense.
and I tell everybody this. I am probably the most stubborn motherfucker you will ever meet in your life. I own that. I know it. I am probably the most stubborn person. And if there's someone more stubborn than me, please introduce me to them. Please. So I can pass them the damn crown. But I honestly believe I am probably the most stubborn person that ever existed. So I get it. But at the same time, it's like you have to learn how to move forward, especially and that episode will come later on too when we actually go through a specific episode or a specific scene. I know a piece of Antonio's backstory because it came out in that particular scene, so I know where his connection is coming from. That's why I'm like, in order for you to grow and to prosper and to achieve the level of success that you want, not just monetary wise, but in spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, I
I need
am.
a reading.
Oh, I don't know read. I'm spiritual as in I go to church. I'm a church boy.
Oh, I am too. So
I will pray you under the balcony, okay? Um, but yeah, but Shantika can actually do that for you. Like she's actually great. Like I love Shantika. She has been feeling under the weather, so she normally does a live every morning. And I can send you her information where you can because she does it on Facebook once she feels a little better, and then you can just tune in and listen to her in the morning. Like she does affirmations and meditations every morning, and it's when I tell you that has changed me in so many ways. Just to hear that positive word, it's
somebody called him.
oh okay. We back.
Yeah. I said
Okay.
somebody probably called him.
Oh, okay, no problem. But yeah, she's dope. But if you definitely need some type of spiritual healing and everything, definitely I can connect you with her. But yeah, with Antonio, I just feel like in order for him to get to that level of where he should be, because I see it. I've seen a lot of growth in him. Like no shade. I just feel like he needs to let certain things go or open up that door because I was afraid to open up certain things. Like I am, I'm dreading, but also I'm anxious for this particular episode to air because I don't even know if I can actually watch it because it's that emotional. It's that emotional. So yeah,
I'm gonna give Mr. Antonio a chance because
he's dope.
even though I feel like he be doing too much, I do. He's actually
He's
on
a
my list to
sensitive
talk to now.
asshole. That's what
What's
he
his
calls himself.
sign?
He's right before me, so he's a Libra.
Oh, I'm a Pisces, and they said we're emotional. I act like a Scorpio.
Yeah, I'm a Scorpio. It's the cast is mainly Scorpio. So myself, Chauncey, the producer Brandon, the messy ass producer Reggie, and the messy ass producer
He'll be back.
okay, but yeah, so
The
yeah,
messy ass producer.
messy ass
Who
producer Reggie and Papa Smurf. We're all Scorpios.
the hell's
So yeah,
Papa Smurf?
Enrique, the salt and
Okay.
pepper. Yeah, that's my the. He does. Let me see what episode was that. He did the. I don't know what episode that. You saw the first episode. He wasn't in the first one like that. Um, but yeah, he's pretty much like our Papa Smurf, like literally like the Papa Smurf and the Smurf and Smurfettes and all them folks. He literally keeps a lot of people in check in a good
Okay.
way.
That's fine. Well, I do plan on talking with them. I'm gonna try to get not all of them, but I'm gonna get majority of them. And have my own little
Yeah,
conversation with them.
you
So,
should.
yeah, I am. Nobody's pissed me off yet.
Oh God.
It's coming.
Oh
Um,
God.
so, what's next for Quan Legend? Like, what do you see yourself elevating to?
Ooh, what is next for me? Ah, you will definitely have to keep watching because some things are uncovered and some things are in the works. So, yeah, but of course, I'm still gonna continue on with my personal training, um, acting, modeling, all of that. Like some
Okay,
things,
model brother.
yes, like yeah, that
Do
I
you know
have.
Jay Amore?
Yes, I do know Jim Moore.
Have you ever walked? I want to walk in one of his shows. Have you ever walked in one of his shows
I
before?
was supposed to, but I did not. No, well, I'll say this: I was going to audition for the show, but I never did. But yeah, but I know Jim Moore.
Okay. So,
He's a
you
dope
meant,
designer from what I see.
yeah, I love Jay Amore. I actually meant to call him the other day just to see if he was okay. Um, you mentioned you wanted to audition for the show. I feel like you should go for it. I feel like chasing is definitely a step up. I feel like you know you can get in that field with
Oh,
them. What about
I'm
the come up ATL?
good. Um, the come up ATL, I feel like honestly and truly, I think everyone's show has their own recipe. Me and my personality, I don't know. I guess I would pretty much have to see the dynamics because Set It Off ATL was like my first one. I didn't audition for any other ones, nor did I care. Not saying that I don't care too much for them, but it was just like I've always been the type of person I've always been an underdog. And
Me too.
I like to be where it already is. Like for me, Chasing Atlanta, G Status to come up, all of those are already on a certain platform. So it's like me coming into it, people are gonna be expecting something already. Like even with Chasing Atlanta, I could have done it years ago because I had several friends that did the show, but I just chose to because at that moment I wasn't really into a lot of stuff, if that makes sense. I was just getting my feet wet with a lot of stuff. So it's like even with coming in to Set It Off, I felt like I didn't really have much to offer. Like not being funny. I actually said that. I was like, this is what I do, but that was just me being self-conscious. I'm like, what do I have to offer? But then when I look at my track record, like, you have done a lot of shit that some people have not done. I have been in, like, I was in the Quad. I was on VH1 The Divas. I was in.
Where you was in the quad
Mhm.
as a supporting
Oh
background,
yeah,
or were
just
you like a
extra, extra, yeah. But again, that was when I was getting my feet wet with background acting. I was in one of Tyler Perry Acrimony. I was a background in that. So it was like at the time
oh
I
that
was doing a
movie?
lot of stuff. Like, yeah, if you go to my page, it'll show all of those things. Like, it was the different scenes that I was in that you could clearly see. Like, I was very much so visible. Like, I had people call like, "Did I just see you in this episode?" And I'm like, I don't know what episode was it. So I've done a lot of things. So it's like I can't discredit myself, because even though it may have been background acting, I was in a stage play as well. So it's like, even though a lot of the stuff wasn't on, in my mind, a mainstream, I still have done things that has gotten notoriety, and that a lot of people, it has touched platforms that a lot of people have not done. And it's not knocking anybody. With my acting, with my modeling, even with my personal training, anything that I do, I don't per se, because yes, I am a part of the LGBTQ, the alphabet community. Um, I'm a part of the alphabet community, but at the same time, I feel like we should not just limit ourselves to the alphabet community. I like to do things that are outside. Like, granted, oh, he's the most feminine, or you're a sister, you're a girl. I don't give a fuck. You can classify me as a girl, a woman, whatever you want to. I can play a man role if I really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I believe there's other avenues, and it's like, I don't knock anybody, but a lot of us call ourselves actors, and but all we do are things on the gay networks that only gay people watch. I want to be seen by the masses. I want to be on that VH1 show. I want to be on that MTV show. I want to be on
Right.
that BET show. I want to be on that Tyler Perry set. I want to be on that Fox. It's different. It's like, I just see myself differently. So when it comes to me and my acting and my modeling, I I prepare myself a little bit different than others. And a lot of people are like, well, why aren't you working? Why aren't you doing this? That's because a lot of the doors that I'm trying to go through, it takes a lot more for me to get into them. And therefore, when I get to that point, I know that I worked my ass off to get there. And it wasn't just handed to me because, oh, he's gay. Oh, we'll just go ahead and give him his role because it's a cast full of gay people. No, even if I have to be the only gay person on set, I don't give a fuck.
And sometimes do if it does just fall in your lap like that, that comes with a price. If you catch my
It
drift, I ain't
does.
talking about money.
It does, and that's
That
and
comes
and
and a lot
honestly,
of you be
it
surprised with
does,
a
and that's why I have turned down a lot of like, you will be surprised. It's some acting gigs that I actually got, but because you want to sleep and do whatever, I don't do that type of stuff. I don't mix business and pleasure. No, unlike
right.
some other people do. But hey, that ain't none of my business.
Hmm. I always felt like
Some
with this industry, I feel like it's easier for it's easily. I feel like it's starting to become female dominated because it's so
it
easy
is.
for them to get into because of their looks, body desirability, all that. And for us men, even straight men, it's harder. So how is this male dominated? But I get it because the ones who are already up there,
Hmm.
they not looking at no niggas. They not. Well, some of them
They're not.
are. Some of them
Some of
are.
them
You know
are.
who are,
They're doing
but
it
they're
discreetly.
mostly they're mostly looking for the bitches and the light skinned ones, and not so much of the dark skin. That's also a thing. Even with the men, the colorism and stuff. It's just like it's harder than it was
But
back then.
one thing I can say, and it's like, you kind of have to play into your strengths. And this is something that my pops, Papa Smurf Enrique, actually had a conversation with me about. You have to play into your strengths. Granted, I may not be everybody's cup of tea. I get that, but you can't. One thing you can't call me is I'm an ugly bitch. That's one thing you can. You can
Same over
call me
here.
many things. You can call me many things. This don't decline.
Same
But
over
it's
here.
like, you have to kind of tap into your strength. I know I'm attractive. I know I have a nice body. So it's like those type of things, and it's like, and that's goes back into what I was saying with the acting. I'm looking at these other guys. And I'm like, okay, I'm this skinny, scrawny guy. This dude is tall as fuck, and he's big, swole. It's an image thing. Granted, it's very shallow, but we all do it in a way. Like, even, I ain't gonna lie, even on my friend request, like Facebook, if you ugly as hell, I am not following you back. I am not accepting your friend request. But, well, that's Facebook is different because I have to approve those. Instagram, if you just request me, it's like I keep that page public because of the platform that we're on. And of course, I have my business, so I have to keep that page public just for that purposes because it's easier for people to search. Because when I had it private, it was like it was a lot, it was crazy. But it's like now that it's public, it's a lot more easy. Like I've had Phaedra Parks has re-tagged my stuff sometimes. I've had Sir Elijah Blake, and I am in love with that man. Oh Jesus!
Elijah Blake.
Yes, God.
Oh yeah, I know the singer.
Yes, God, I am in love with it. He has been to my page several times, and not in no flirting aspect or anything like that. So don't get that twisted. No, it's just you can see people in your story because I've reposted a lot of his stuff. So he has viewed my page almost, and I still have those viewed where he's viewed it. So it's just like when you have those type of things, when you're crossing boundaries like that, where people are noticing or recognizing you, it kind it makes you feel a different kind of way. So it's just like you have to play into that, like yeah, granted, you don't want to play in like, oh, I'm this cute person, but yeah, it. You're getting interviews because you have a cute face. Like people like, oh, okay, I can be interviewed. Like if it was somebody trash or ugly, I'd be like, yeah, don't think that I'm gonna be doing this, but yeah.
Yeah, like even when I had some people from Zeus, because I've interviewed Henny, K Capri, Rio, and now Rolly. I've done that by myself, and
Hmm.
they follow me on, and so I watch. I even before that, fuck, or I didn't even bother to go back and forth with people. Like I don't be in people's lives. I don't care for
Right.
that drama shit. I don't even tap into TTB as much. That's the only time when I'll catch some shit if I do. But I watch now what I post because they can see it. And you never know. And now that I got posted on the Zeus T pages, now Zeus
Hmm.
knows who the fuck I am. Not
Right.
saying that, oh, I'm getting on the show because I'm not doing Zeus. I'm not,
Exactly.
I want to
It's
do
the
Zeus right now,
exposure. It's the
but
exposure.
right. So it's like, but they now know, like, okay, he interviewed Rolly. She's a household name in Zeus. Like,
Hmm.
that Siefyan, they tagged my name in. I'm like, oh shit. I was trying to look the other way. But I get it
It,
when you
it
say
it
like,
goes. It
I
plays into your advantage. It really
right.
does.
I get it when you say like, when you open your when like you keep your page and uh he'll be back. Someone's busy tonight.
Okay, am I back? Okay, there we go.
No, it's
Sorry.
fine. So
I thought I
I
put it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why the hell that call came through.
no, it's fine. So I get it when when you keep your page public, and I understand your aspect from what it is.
Hmm.
And I don't have these interviews with people just to because he got a cute face, nice body. I mean, obviously, who doesn't? But this ain't no like, oh, I'm trying to get what. No, this is because I like how he carries himself. Like he
It's a
reminds me a
business.
little of myself. So it's
Mm.
like, why can't I connect with like? And you're not the only one I'm gonna speak to. So it's like, it ain't. It's not like that. So
No, I was shocked. I was like a lot of, and honestly and truly,
you
this
was shocked.
season, yeah, because honestly, again, that's just me, the person I am, self-conscious. I don't think that I've had that big of a role thus far in the season, but it's not just you. I have been getting reached out to a lot, like friend requests have been going, like I've been getting inbox. So it's shocking me that it's going the way that it's going. I'm just like, oh wow, I just really thought that it would have been one of those hate trains, like Quon is this and da 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 da. But I've been getting a lot of positive, I mean, negative too, but I laugh at that. But yeah, it's shocking me, like to even get because I see my other castmates, they're on the lives, they're getting the interviews left and right, and it's cool, and it's like it is what it is because they're the main people. So it's like when folks like myself and others are getting interviews, it's like, oh wow, like it's shocking to me. I will say that it's shocking to me, but I mean, like I said, I appreciate it at all costs because a lot of people don't understand. Even though this is a YouTube show, this can be seen across so many countries. Like
It already
it is,
is. It already is.
yeah.
It
And my
is.
thing is, you never know who will see this, and I and a lot of people like to talk so much smack about her, but I live for her. Is Nene Leaks. Nene used the Real Housewives of Atlanta as she was supposed to do. When you have a platform like this, you're supposed to use it to your advantage. She wanted to be an actress. Look what Mama did. Oh, she ain't doing nothing now. Who else can say they was on Broadway?
Candy.
I mean, I'm saying she Candy had a name prior to, but I'm just saying Nene used the platform to elevate herself. Her first season is not who she is now. Mama has a lounge, which I was just at a couple last weekend. So she has a lounge. Mama has $1 million prop. Like she has done what she needed to do. That's what I want. Initially, when I joined Set It Off ATL, that's what I wanted. I wanted this show to propel or to get me. I didn't care about being like even when you had the conversation, being a main cat, it doesn't bother me. Like, Red, would I have liked to have been one? Yeah. I feel like my role was very prevalent on the show. Without me, certain things probably wouldn't have transpired. But but at the same time, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, did this just knock out? I think it did. Okay, there we go. But but yeah, I just feel like if it wasn't for certain platforms like this or certain cast members not using it to their advantage, like take it and use, whether it was good or whether it was bad. Like one person in particular that I really am disappointed in was from our pilot season was Norris. He was one of the standouts from the pilot season. He could have ran so far with this notoriety, but he cracked on the he couldn't take it mentally. He crumbled, and I get it. A lot of us battle through mental things, mental demons, and it was too much for him. But my thing is like use it to where it's supposed to be. This platform is getting exposure to a lot of things. Like I've gotten offers for brand ambassador for another label, not a level label. It's another someone's doing another clothing line. Reached out to me for that, and I'm just like, how did you even know? Like you found my like it's weird. And even with my personal training business, it's like I don't know where that's gonna take me. Like I it's so many things that people are noticing. Just this small platform, it can get you so many places. You just have to use it the right way and make sure you're portrayed in the proper light. That's it.
Well, me, I'm also like an underdog, so I like to look out for the underdogs that are like
Of
me.
course.
Have you noticed like all my interviews have been not really much of the, well, some, but not really much of the popular girls? Because I see everything. I usually try to
I
get the
think
ones
Rolly is
who,
popular.
well, yeah, Rolly popular, but but I
Yeah,
see,
she was one of my favorites on Chance of Love. I ain't gonna tell no lie. I loved her.
yeah, she's my favorite. Krishan is one of my favorites, but she was the only one that got back to me. But nonetheless, um. what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, so like I usually like to go after the ones that I know or I feel like it's like, I don't want to go after because let's just be honest, Black is like he has that star quality. A lot of you have some star quality. I could have easily went towards Black. I didn't go for him. I said I want Quon. Quon reminds me a lot of myself. I even hit up Chauncey. I was like, Chauncey, next person's probably gonna be maybe Antonio. I know I want JT up here, but I'm gonna get Black up here. But I want to save. I want to get certain people that
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? I don't want to go after the popular girls. I
right.
want to go after the other ones because a lot of these interviews they don't go after everybody, and I get
They
it, but
go
they
whose
they
name
go
was
after the who's,
circulating.
and that's not fair because it's like okay, and the ones that they kind of have a interview with are the nastiest, not all, but the nastiest ones. It's just like, why are you even like? I get it, but it's just like, what makes you think that that person won't do you fucking dirty? And then when they do, we supposed to
Exactly.
sit here and I said no. I'm going after the ones that I want to interview, that I
Hmm.
would like to connect with. Everybody's gonna get their chance, but I
Got
know
it.
who I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do Zeus Network, right?
Um. Honestly, first response would be a hell no, but it depends on what if they were to do something a little tasteful, then I possibly would. But as far as like Bad Boys Club, no, that's not my speed. No.
That's actually the answer you just said is exactly what I be giving to people.
That's not my.
I even
Yeah.
told Rolly that to her face and on the phone.
Yeah, because there's
So
certain things I see for myself, and it's like a lot of people don't know that as well. Like I'm very much so into politics. I do plan on being in the Senate, so I can't have stuff like this. Me rah 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 rah, and I'm trying to be a senator. Like no, that's not
especially
gonna
as a
happen.
black man, they gonna put anything
Thank
against all
you,
of us.
a gay black man at that.
Anything,
So yeah,
anything. So
right.
if there was a All Stars, which I heard that they're trying to get one together. I don't know if it's true or not.
Mm,
You know, because you're a part of the conglomerate now. So it's like
yeah.
if you were to get a call to do an all-star season with like 12 different other cast members from Gemini Films to come up, Bad Boys Club,
Ooh.
Chasing Atlanta, Chasing LA, G Status ATL, On the Way Up Atlanta, some of your cast members from Set It Off,
Mm-hmm.
uh the Come Up Miami, Real Hot Boys of Houston, LA. I'm just
All
trying
of
to
them.
like
Yeah, because
each
it's
like
a
maybe
lot
two
of
from
it's a
each
lot of
show.
them.
If you, because I know they're probably gonna get Black and Chauncey, because y'all kind of like the standouts a little bit, and some other people like JT. But would you go and do it if you
Yeah,
got called?
I probably would. I would say this. It depends on my where I'm at mentally at that time too. So I would have to mentally be prepared for all of that, and plus being able to balance work like if the production team was A1, like no hit, like if it was a strictly professional type of situation where we had time frame, like you were on point, I would definitely do it. I would definitely do it. I'm an organization person. Like I have to have everything written. Like you have to have it all labeled out. Like I don't like mess. I don't like the oh let's figure it out as we go. I'm not that type of person. I'm a very structured person.
Yeah,
Like if you
you
look at
remind
my
me a
closet,
lot of
you'll be like,
myself.
you look at my closet and be like, why has he got color? Like if it's structured, I would do it. Yes, I would.
You remind me a lot of myself. It's crazy.
That's a good thing.
Some of you guys on these shows remind me of myself. Um, so you said politics. So,
Mhm.
what is your views on capitalism? How do you feel about that?
Ooh, we're not even going to touch on politics at this moment in time because I'm a little upset about some things. But um,
Well, that could be an off the phone question. Like,
it could be,
I could
it
hit
could
you up
be.
behind the
But
scenes about that.
yeah, but
'Cause I definitely like to know your views about that.
yeah, we can definitely we can do another interview with that too. That's perfectly fine. Like I can we can have a whole segment with politics in itself. Like
I would
I.
love that because I actually have a boys. I do this like boys' night in and girls' night in like every month. I just
Mhm.
had one with some people from Chase and G Sets. I just had one with the boys.
I think
Um,
I saw that a
yeah, I
snippet
had
of
some
it.
with the
Yeah.
boys. So I take you guys and I like to do like a little all star things, and it gives the people who are trying like some of the producers of these like
Hmm.
Chasing and Gemini. So it gives them a feel like okay, Siefyan got these boys. Let's see how they mix up with whatever they. I do it by like let's talk about some real shit like colorism, capitalism, rents too
Yes.
high, LLCs,
Yes.
how you got your business. Let's not talk about the damn show. So I take you guys out of that and we talk about other
Hmm.
things with other, you know,
Yeah.
people from the
World
show. So,
stuff that happens on a day to day
yeah,
basis.
that's what I
I
like to
get
do.
it. I get
Sometimes I
it.
throw in Zeus, just one
Hmm.
show. But I just do that, So I definitely would love to have you up here. But it doesn't
Sure.
have to be everybody. It could just be us again. We could just talk political stuff because I definitely would like to do that. Because
Of course.
Dre Sember, not to drop these names, but Dre Sember actually is a political person too. I I want him. If I could get
Okay.
him and you, we can definitely get into a real conversation because I would love that.
I'm
And,
here
and you know
for it.
what? A dream would be if I could have King of Reeds up here too.
That would be dope.
I'm gonna. That's gonna be my goal. That's gonna be my goal. December, Quon, Siefyan, King of Reeds. Politics conversation.
It's gonna have to speak. Words have power. Speak it into existence. Words have power.
I'm gonna speak that into existence. I'm going to. And I'm
Yes,
also speaking of existence. Have you ever thought about going to New York Fashion Week?
I have. I just never made it up there.
Because I actually live in New York. I don't live in New York City, but I'm from Albany, so the city's
Mhm.
like 2 hours from me. But I actually one of my designers who I walked their fashion show for. She said she dropped her name and suggest. She said she's gonna try to do it. She wants to bring me. I said, "You got me. You got me.
Period. Facts.
You
I
definitely
will
got me."
come. I will definitely come up there. Like if you're walking in there, yeah, I'll definitely come up
I
there.
will definitely. I will definitely let you know, girl. We can get a hotel split and have fun because I know some plots in New York City. You
And I've
know,
never been to New York, so
shit.
yeah,
I'm gonna
that
try
would
to
be
get Quon.
a vacation.
I'm gonna try to
I
get
would need
Quon.
that.
I'm gonna try to get Quon the Poet King to come out too. Quon gonna bring his
Do
ass.
it.
And Philly Chica. She's in Philadelphia. But I think I'm done torturing you.
This wasn't torture. This was great
I know.
torture.
How you think this interview did?
I was in my mind. I was prepared to like. Okay, I don't know where it's gonna go, but yeah. But I liked it. I really did. I really did. I really did. I got to
Oh,
talk. So that is you get to. We talked about the show and about personal. So I liked it. I felt like it went very well. Very very well.
and I asked some questions that went up your alley for what you do. So
Yeah.
like it was kind of more on what you do on your everyday, like fitness, politics, model. So yep. So yeah. So
They're not ready for
I
me in that Senate, baby. Baby, the day that happens, I'm shaking DC up.
yeah. So it is time to go for both of
Yes, yes, yes,
us.
yes, 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 yes,
I'm
yes.
so glad I had you up here. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
speaking with me
having
and
me.
taking the
Thank you,
time.
thank you,
Can you
thank
just let
you.
people know where they can follow you?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter at Quon Legend. That's QUONLEGEND. On Facebook, it's Quan Sherrington Legend, which if you type in Quan Legend, you'll still pull me up. Quan Legend anywhere, you'll be able to find me. TikTok, Snapchat, it's Q Legend. I don't really use that much, but I just like the filters. But yeah, I'm more so on Instagram and TikTok. I like
Hey,
TikTok.
you guys know where to find me at. You guys know where to find me at Siefyan Juwan on Instagram. Quana was a
Oh, and also Pop Up Productions ATL on YouTube, on Instagram. Follow us. Set it off ATL. We're 6 episodes in. Like, comment, subscribe. Shameless
yeah.
plug. I'm sorry.
Cause I'm gonna still be tuning in. Ain't no problem. But I will be speaking with you. I will stay connected with you.
Of course.
I might actually hit you up after this to talk about politics and stuff, but I'm not gonna get
Yeah.
too deep into it. So, thank you so much for coming up with me, and we are gonna sign off. To everybody else, have a nice night.
Bye.
My mom said I need to do something with my hair, otherwise